Thanks for joining me at the table to take a look at all the actions that you can do in Tiletum. In Tiletum, you and your fellow players are rich merchants traveling throughout Europe, from the city of Tiletum down to Venice during the days of the early Renaissance. So what kind of things can we do? We've got a map, we've got a king's track, we've got contracts, we've got some characters that can go into houses, we've got some end of round scoring, end of game scoring, and the main action wheel is how we take actions in the game. So in this particular spot here, if I was to take this dice, I'm triggering the travel action. The number 4 means I'll get 4 resources of the colour of the dice. The dice colours are a little bit similar, so I've laid them out here just so it's easier for people to identify them. We've got wool, we've got steel, we've got food, we've got bricks, and we've got gold. You can pay 2 gold for 1 resource at any point, and these are your action tokens. Okay. So if I take this number 4 here, I'm the first person to do so. So I put my dice in there, take 4 gold, but I also get a bonus tile. And the bonus tile sits in your storehouse. One of the best things about this game is that if the storehouse is full, you can't take any other bonus tiles. And they are found all over the board. That includes contracts, it includes characters. So you need to be really careful managing what you can take into your storehouse and spend straight away. So I take my 4 gold in this situation from here. That comes in front of me. We do start with some resources as well. This is just looking at actions. The 4 resources that I've taken means that I've now got 3 action tokens. So I'll take 3 action tokens. 1, 2, 3. Our characters start in Tiletum. So here in this instance, I could, for my first action, I could place a house. And what that house means, it means that I can now be present to score the effect at Tiletum. So you want to have a house or your wagon in at least these areas by the end of the first, second, third, and fourth round to score these features, which are houses, king's track, cathedrals built, and shields placed. So first action there is to build a house. Second action here is come Paris. Third action would be to pick up that bonus tile. The bonus tile then goes into a storehouse. So that is my 3 actions for that particular turn. They go back to the pile, to the supply, and then it's the next person's turn. And what you're always trying to do in Tiletum is juggle between how many actions that you need to do something and what resources you need. So we'll have a look at another action. A similar action is the architect action, which is where you see this compass. If I'm the first person here, I would get 4 victory points. That goes onto the player board storehouse. You get 5 resources, which are the steel. And then that generates us 2 actions. So you get 2 action tokens for your architect. And that wheel will actually turn at the end of this round, moving into round 2, so everything moves on. You do have the option to pay 2 gold to move it as far, to take an action. To increase or decrease your dice by 1 is 2 gold, but you can do that multiple times. So I've got my 2 action tokens for my architect. I'll be blue now. And the architect's movement, the reason that you need an architect to move around is if he comes here for 1 action, there's no bonus tile, that's gone, but I might want to spend a second action to put out a pillar. And pillars are important because they give you the option at any point in the game to take a free action to buy cathedral. In this instance, if I was first, I'd get 9 victory points for paying 5 bricks and 3 for the cathedral, and then scale down for people following behind. And that's another way to score points, because towards the end of the game, for every combination of one house, one pillar, you'll be able to score multiple victory points. Resources are worth 1 each, and houses combined with shields is another big way to score too. So the architect's moving around to build pillars, and the merchant is moving around to build houses. Pillars give you the right to do these cathedrals, and houses will give you presence in the areas, Troyes, Leipzig, Verona, that you need to score at the end of the round. A little bit like Cathedral, if anyone's played that. So we know what the architect action does, the travelling action does. Let's have a look at this action here with the head. So this is the character action. From the first person to go here, I can take this, put that into my storehouse, and those are going to relate to this player board now, which we'll run through. So if I get six food on this occasion, 6 food is very handy, which is something I'll show a reason why in a second. We'll just grab that now. 6 food. There we go. So I've generated 1 action token in this situation, and for 1 action token I can either refresh that whole row or take 1 person into my storehouse. They all give different immediate benefits when placed in the storehouse, or if the rooms of a house are filled, the bottom action would trigger and you would get extra actions. So let's take a look at this person here. He'll generate 2 resources for me when placed in the house. So if we pretend for a moment, let's say I had another character point to be able to spend. I could spend any 1 character point here, put them into any one of these houses. The temptation is there to place him in a house that becomes completed. That completed house releases another house for our travel board, and it will also release this +1 action token. So I've now got the freedom to pick where I want to put to generate more actions. So if that was there at the start of this turn, that would have generated me 3 actions, which is very nice. With this particular player board, you have to put all of one type of person into a house. So I need those 3 people who are all the same. And once that house is filled, it triggers me an extra 3 contract actions. At any time, I can pay 6 food, 5 food, 3 food, 2 food. And what paying that food does means I can move a emblem over and get the free action. So this is put a pillar anywhere, move your wagon anywhere, move your architect anywhere. You need 2 resources and 5 victory points. This house is already full, so you can put that one in. That's a good way to generate end game points. There's also a nice tasty 3 here if you can fill that big house up, but it's expensive to do with character actions. I do find that throughout the game, it asks you to do a bit of everything. There's no leaning into one strategy. You have to be able to manage multiple facets. So there's a lot of plate spinning in this one. So that's how you take the character actions. There's also a contract action, which relates to this track here. With this contract action, it comes with a joker, so it's a wild. So I get to take that, but obviously if my storehouse is full, I can't take it. I have the option to take it and discard it, so other players can't do it. This is quite a nice spot because even though I'm only going to get 1 stone or 1 food, I'm getting 6 actions to spend on contracts. So 6 actions, I might want to spend 3 here, 2 here, but you can spend 1 action here. And for 1 action, you can trade anything for anything. And the first trade, you get a +1. Everything else will be 1 for 1. This is why I've been teaching it. Can be a bit confusing, but yeah, you get, even if you traded 3 times, you still only get 1 extra resource for using that spot. Contracts are standard Euro fare, 3 wool, 3 steel, 5 wool there for 7 points. And each time you take a contract, so if I had a contract, it comes in here. Let's say that I can spend any 5 resources to complete it straight away. That then pushes out a pillar, and that pillar becomes available for me to put onto the board, score those 6 points. So you're looking to release as many pillars as you can. It's a good way to score points because you get everything instantly, apart from the endgame multiple. So everyone's got a good idea as to where they are, but more contracts the better. There's no downside to contracts. So that's how contracts work. Contracts refill at the end of a turn. Characters refill immediately, so you get another crack if you are spending multiple actions. The next action to look at is the wild action. So in this scenario, I can take 2 stone and 5 action tokens, but I can't spend those 5 action tokens across all of the symbols. I have to declare I either want architects for this turn, or characters, or wagon actions. So it's just you are declaring which action you like. It really helps having the wild. It opens the game right up because you can do something twice in a turn potentially. And again, you could always potentially pay 2 gold, turn that into a 5, and take that architect's action. And the extra bonuses do seem to influence what people take as an extra turn. The final action in the game is the king's action. So if I'm first here, I would take that token, get an extra benefit. So I can get, instead of 4 actions, 5 actions. That 3 there relates to 3 wool to be able to take. Now, the king action specifically relates to this track. It's really interesting. I found people love it or hate it. I quite enjoy it. It's an extra element to manage. So at the start of the round, before anyone places their first dice, we are losing 2 points. So everyone goes back 2, 1, 2, and each round, after every time you've placed your 3 dice on your player board, it's going to go back. So your actions here, if I took 4 actions, that would mean that I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't go back at the end of a turn. I'd score 2 victory points there. I have seen a game where people are up here permanently, so every round you're scoring 12 points, 12 points, 12 points, and you've got to drop back when these are revealed, and you manage it. If you're here, obviously you're going to score minus points. Can be difficult to get out of, but honestly there are that many points in the game. It's not a disaster, it's not a deal breaker, because we are tripping over victory points. So it is enjoyable for me with the king action, making sure that we're getting points from there and other regions. The free actions in the game adds an extra level of thought. So you can fulfill a contract anytime from your stone house. You can spend food anytime and move a character into your property to release houses and fulfill extra actions. And you can build a cathedral at any time. So it's always interesting with the variety of the tiles, trying to work out where you can score the most points from. So in this game, Milano would be a really good spot. And you can see there aren't that many places to build houses in a 2-player game. So you have to be getting out there claiming these spots pretty quickly if possible. It's a really balanced game, and I've enjoyed all my plays so far. The rule book, you do have to dip in and out of the game, but everything is findable, and it's been a good game so far. So if you like medium weight Euro games, definitely take a look at Tiletum.